I'm going to take a shot in the dark and assume that there's something that you've been trying to accomplish, but you haven't done it yet. Or perhaps there's something you want to get over, but it's still bugging you. Or perhaps there's just something you're still struggling to understand. Now, if you hang on for a bit and don't try to escape the feeling, that feeling of unaccomplishment, if that's a word, what you might find is that there's a sense of shame or frustration. I should have arrived by now, figured it out yesterday, and been done with that years ago. The fact that you have not succeeded, in your mind maybe, implies that you're flawed. That's the judgment that we levy at ourselves and maybe even other people. But what's the implication of being flawed? You see, that's the thing that we never quite investigate. Because here's the reality: the bad news is you're not perfect. There's a reason you go to kindergarten. It's because you lack knowledge. There's a reason you fall off the skateboard. It's because you lack balance. There's a reason you struggle in relationships. It's because you don't understand how your partner is your mirror. We're not born knowing everything. Our knowledge base is incomplete. Our perspective is too shallow, and our ability is unrefined. Therefore, we don't have a choice. We have to learn. But I want to consider two types of people. First, let's consider those who believe that they're perfect, because really the only thing that they've done is create a perfect hell for themselves. So I don't know if you guys watch anime, but I'm going to use that as an example. Light Yagami from Death Note. He's a good example of someone who believes that he's perfect, specifically morally perfect. He's so perfect that he literally decides who lives and who dies. If he writes your name in the death note, you die. If he doesn't, you live. Now, what Light didn't understand was his own arrogance. But by not understanding that, could he really be morally perfect? No, he could not. So in the anime, not the manga, he gets so drunk with pride in being able to figure people out and manipulate them into what he wants. But because he's not perfect, he eventually gets exposed and dies right in front of the guy who was more morally virtuous than him and maybe one IQ point smarter. But he was far more socially inept because, again, nobody's perfect. So, now, second example, let's consider those who are desperate to be perfect. Nina from the movie Black Swan. Now, the ballerina wanted to be perfect so badly that her self esteem went into the toilet. She experienced derealization, depersonalization. She attacked her mom and wounded herself just so that she could play the role of Black Swan perfectly. Now, to be fair, she played the Black Swan very well, yes, but she had already made a mistake when she was in the role of White Swan and she fell. But again, no one's perfect. If she could have played the lead of Swan Lake without losing her mind, and potentially her life, of course, right? I think that would have been more favorable, yeah. But that's the thing. That's what the desire to be perfect does to a human being. You are going against nature. Therefore, nature has no choice but to go against you. Ultimately, she didn't really trust herself. Thus, she had to control herself so tightly that she ran her mental and physical health into the ground. Nina and Light, they represent the two problems with perfection. Light believes he is already perfect and thus has an inflated ego. Nina, on the other hand, believes she has to become perfect in the eyes of others in order to legitimize her self worth. She has a deflated ego and needs others' approval. Now, Light did not heed Ryuk's warning, Ryuk being the death god, right? So, if the death god tells you, if you use this book to kill people, your name will eventually end up in the book. Why would you even start? Oh, that's right, because you think you're perfect. So, who cares what other people think? Even if it is a death god. If Nina doesn't get the role of prima ballerina, she could still excel in another role. But you see, she don't want another role, you know. She doesn't want it because her self-esteem is too fragile. She needs the biggest role. That way she can guarantee that she definitely is the best. She needs the biggest role in order to feel like she matters, even if she is objectively not the best fit. What they both believe is that they're not perfect, and that if they are not perfect, they're worthless. And it becomes a situation of life and death, literally, for both. So the bad news is you're not perfect. You will have to ask for help. The good news is you're not perfect. You will not have to do it alone. Here's what trips up a lot of people. People think that if they ask for help, then that means that they're weak. The irony, of course, is that it is because you don't admit that you lack information or skills that telegraphs to everybody that you're weak. No, look, I'm going to be fair. There are those who ask for help for everything, because they don't trust themselves to do anything. Perfectionists fear being those kinds of people because those kinds of people never do anything. And so they fail by default. And as you know, perfectionists hate failure. But you see, that's the thing that's so interesting. Because if success is more assured if you ask for help or rely on others, then why would perfectionists not do that? It's because they were let down in the past. See, no one starts out being a perfectionist. You become it as a matter of survival. If people couldn't look out for you, or people shamed you for not knowing how to do something, you just start to do it for yourself. You start to look out for yourself. You don't talk to anybody. As painful as those things are, if you assume that no one can help you but you, that is how you destroy yourself and potentially everything you've built. What would make better sense is when you see someone you respect, seek their advice or confide in them. Tell them what you're going through. When you admit to someone you respect that you don't know something or struggle to do something, what you're showing is that you respect yourself enough to get the information you need to succeed and to share your strengths and weaknesses with another human being. Lastly, if they judge you for that, wouldn't that be lame of them? Yeah, and you know it too. You would immediately say to yourself, doesn't everybody need help? Shouldn't I be allowed to share what I'm going through, whether it's good or bad? Yes, I couldn't agree more. So why not just take your own advice? Remember, there's a difference between talking to people who will criticize you and talking to people who are willing to help you. You will find the helpful people if you yourself are a helpful person. That's the catch.